Welcome back. This is Brian, tech support from Express Cell Depot. This video is the last part to our Note 2 glass repair series. I have linked our store in the description for anybody in need. Over time dealing with customers over the helpline, I have been frequently asked questions like, is it okay if I mess up on the dispensing pattern of LOCA? What can I do if I get bubbles when I lower the glass? So I made this LOCA process as challenging as it could be to show how most errors can be fixed. If you would like to see how it is supposed to be done correctly from the beginning, you can take this as a supplementary video and skip to our how to correctly apply LOCA video in our channel. Even though the Note 3 is shown in that video, the process is the same apart from the fact that you will only need 1.8 milliliter of LOCA for Note 2 as to the 2.2 milliliter that we show for the Note 3. You can see here I'm adding more to the bottom left portion instead of the top left portion to make this a little more disproportionate. So you're going to dispense 1.8 milliliter of the 3 milliliter. The ideal pattern looks like the alphabet X with the intersecting point stretched out as shown in this video. For whatever reason the LOCA does not flow easily, stop the repair, give us a call, send us an email, or send us a message and we'll take care of it right away. It is absolutely crucial for you to dispense the right amount. Most instructional videos on YouTube do not stress this enough, and if you look closely on some of the popular videos you can see LOCA spilling into the camera area, sensor area, and the home button area, which is not the most ideal. And you're just going to let it sit there for a few seconds, let it level out on its own, and as you can see I think I've done a pretty good job at setting myself up with a bit of a challenge when it comes down to spreading the LOCA evenly under the glass. And now we put the home button back in, and if you look closely you will see two little tabs sticking up, and that's where the holes on the sides of the home button is supposed to sit on. And you can use a screwdriver or any tool alike to make sure that it seats on the tab. And now we gotta put the speaker grill, and if you have noticed you will see a thin strip of 3M tape on the top. Basically that's cut from the portion that's not used in this repair, and I build a small dam. I mean, it's not a complete seal, but it definitely does help LOCA from spilling into the camera area. And there's also a top side and the bottom side of the speaker grill, so you just want to make sure that you have the right side up. You want to make sure the metal piece that goes around the home button is in the correct orientation as well, and if there appears to be any smudges or dust, you want to make sure that it is on the outer surface of the glass, as once the glass goes down the inside cannot be cleaned. So now we can start lowering the glass. The trick here is to lower the glass on one side first and lower the other side slowly. The other LOCA video mentioned shows it a little better, and I apologize for the camera angle in this video as it is a little difficult to tell here, but I'm more or less going to plop the glass down now, and I'll have plenty of bubbles to demonstrate the process of pushing them out. And as you can see, this is far from ideal situation. You can see bubbles all over the screen, in the center, in the corner, pretty much everywhere. And you can see here the weight of the glass alone has already started to spread the LOCA. Before trying to fill the corners and before trying to push the bubbles out, the first thing you want to do with the glass down is spreading the glue all around to fill the general area of the screen by gently pushing on the center. You want to fix any errors you may have made by dispensing too much in one corner, and you want to end up with a rounded rectangle shape of LOCA before you start evenly spreading and filling the corners. And I find that if you do see that one side has a heavier amount of LOCA than the other, it helps to hold the empty side down to help the gravity
all the time in the world.
Pull the glue down and try to have it as evenly as possible. And as you can see, it's working out so far.
If you see it has
you can see here near the home button area, it has gone as far as I would want it to go. So I'm going to hold the home button side up, helping the LOCA slide down. It can be a time-consuming process, and it can even be frustrating, but you have
Okay, you're gonna
as
press
much
these
time as
bubbles
you want to
out.
take because until it's exposed to UV,
I got
the
a
glue
ton of
will
bubbles.
remain liquid. At this point, you can start to push the bubbles towards the edges of the screen. It is important to start from the very center bubble, as you may not be able to access it
Okay,
if
you
you
guys can
do
see
fill the
this
corners
bubbles
first.
being
And I hope
pushed
you guys can
off.
see it in the video, but these bubbles do move and are moving with gentle
Again,
pressure
if you
from
push it
my
off to the
thumbs.
side, it's not a big deal. If you
And
get
at this
LOCA on the
point,
side,
you
it's
may
not a big
see
deal.
some excess LOCA that starts to
Okay,
squeeze from the sides of the phone, but this is normal
that guy's
and it will
gone
not cause any
now.
problem as long as you wipe it clean
Okay,
after.
maybe I left it a
What you
little too
don't
many
want to
bubbles.
see is LOCA going to the
Supposed to
camera
drop the
area
glass
or the
slowly.
home button area.
Just thought I would give myself a bit of a challenge. It's proving to be a bit too much challenge for a Friday afternoon. I really want to
And
show
as
you
you can
guys how it's
see
done.
with this bubble, pressing on one side of the bubble does not always mean the bubble will move in the opposite direction. Sometimes you have to let the bubble dictate where it wants to go, and you have no
Just
choice
take your
but to
time.
patiently chase it off to the edge of the screen,
There's no
whichever
rush.
edge it happens to be. As long as you have cleaned the surrounding area of the display, the bubble will stay off the screen once it's been pushed off. If you have bubbles that keep creeping back in even after you do push it off, it means your phone is
I'm
either
pressing on
slightly
it. I'm
warped
probably
slash
pressing on
bent,
it no harder than I would press
or it's not making full contact with
on
the
an
tape
eggshell.
or the
And
frame
you'll see it. Just
because
start
it
slow.
was not cleaned properly.
Start with your weakest strength. If it doesn't move, gradually increase the pressure.
If you carefully
And
followed our
eventually it will
tips
start
that we
moving.
outlined in this video, there is no way that you'll
And you
have
can
this
tell
many
from the
bubbles,
display there, it's going
and I almost regretted setting
as far
myself up with
top
too
as
much
it
of a
should go.
challenge this Friday
So I'm
afternoon,
gonna hold it up like this.
but I hope this video serves as a good example how to work the bubbles out
And
and
just
how you can
very
avoid having so
slight
many bubbles in the
changes,
first
but
place.
you'll see that LOCA actually starts to fall back.
It is a time-consuming process and it can even be
It's a slow
annoying, but if you
process,
have
but
gotten this
you know,
far without damaging the display,
like I said,
you're in the home
it's just
stretch.
gonna take some time. But if you've gotten this far, you'll be okay.
I personally find it the easiest to leave the top right corner till the very end because I find the sensors and the camera area tend to be the most sensitive area.
Okay, really, as long as you
And
don't
I
get it
think
up
that
in this
outlines
area,
most of
as
the
long as the home button
techniques involved with
presses
pushing
freely,
the bubbles out of
you
the
did a good
LOCA.
job.
So I'm going to speed up the video from here. There won't be any audio during this time until the 12-minute mark. And if you're following this video as you're doing the repair, it just may give you enough time to work all the bubbles out. So either continue watching or feel free to skip to the 12-minute mark for our very last tip on the LOCA repair.
If you have any extra steps, that's what you want. Okay, you don't want to see glue going to the top area either. That's really easy to here. Okay, so not see LOCA on the camera. If you back up since you're off, you'll see it back. Okay, let's just go away. Get out of here. I want your house. See, you'll see those items outside. Patient. That's supposed to be a nice procedure. It's supposed to be.
Here you can see I have a bit of a dilemma. I can either push the very last bubble out of the screen, which will likely result in LOCA spilling into the front camera area, and doing the extra work to clean it out, or I can just leave it as is. As mentioned before, and as shown on our Note 3 series video, you can clean the front camera sensor area by detaching the AMOLED from the chassis. You can also clean it with a Q-tip after removing just the front camera and the sensors from the chassis without separating the AMOLED from the actual chassis or frame, but I find this doesn't always work out the best. In our Note 3 LOCA process video, you can see just how much difference careful dispensing of the glue and careful lowering of the glass can have in achieving a perfect bubble-free glass. So, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be leaving the one bubble there. You shouldn't encounter the same scenario following our guide, but if you do, the choice is yours whether you want to leave the bubble or pursue further and clean the glue from the front camera area after. You may even get lucky and be able to work the bubble out from a different angle without getting the LOCA into the camera area at all.
I'm happy to.
Once you're satisfied with the repair, you can cure the glue by exposing it to UV. You can do this by placing it under a UV light, or you can simply take it outside in daylight. If you wish to cure the glue indoors, please keep in mind that some modern windows do filter UV,
It's still us,
and it would be strongly recommended that you test the desired curing area first by test curing some of the leftover LOCA on a non-porous surface. The glue will tack up almost instantly, but as intensity of light vary day by day and region by region, we do set out the standard outdoor curing time to be 30 to 45 minutes.
leave it so.
As you can see, the repair was successful apart from the one bubble at the top. And from this point, all you're going to be doing
I can already feel it, it's starting to harden.
checking the test strip by touching it.
It's very sensitive to the UV.
Every few minutes to make sure that the glue has fully cured.
I'm not sure if you can see on the camera.
See it. And that concludes our Note 2 glass replacement videos. Don't forget to watch our Note 3 LOCA video to see how it was supposed to be done from the very beginning. But I hope you still found this video helpful, and if you happen to have been following along with your repair, I hope it turned out well.
And we're back. The phone is working, as you can see.